Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tatiana Show. It is June 8th, 2018. I'm broadcasting to you live from my apartment where I'm being poisoned by fumes coming from the bathroom, which actually sounds really bad. They reglazed my tub. I feel like I want to make a Mexican food joke, but I think I did. How you doing, Josh?
I'm good. I'm glad you're getting a new bathtub just in time for summer.
You're the worst.
I'm getting right into Wim Hof, where you sort of get cold showers and it keeps you invigorated and stuff. So, having a bathtub to put ice into in the middle of winter.
Well, I've literally been asking for them to change out the bathtub for over a decade. And so this was the day. So if I act a little loopy, don't mind me, everyone. It's just my bathtub fumes. Let's get going because we've got 3 guests for the show today. And I'm excited because I like all of them. Yeah, I always like my guests, but I really like these guests because they're cool and fun and my friends. So the first one up is going to be Rob Viglione from Rob. Is it Viglione or is it Viglione?
Well, it depends.
No. It depends what province you're talking.
Exactly, right? So the American way is Viglione, and the Italian way just cringes at saying that. So,
So I did it the proper way. My quarter Sicilian part of me is proud and beating fast. So Rob is the CEO of ZenCash, also a good friend of mine. And holy cannoli, Zen has had quite a week. And I'm a big supporter of the project. We've been working with you guys with Crypto Media Hub for a long time. But I also think the project is cool. I'm a big holder of Zen. So I was concerned. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Should I sell? Of course I didn't because I'm not a wuss. But what's the secret? What's going on?
Oh my God. I have to say the week was completely cut. The icing on the cake for this crazy, insane week was when one of our former devs decided to get high and hijack an armored personnel carrier out of an army base in Virginia and just start riding it down the streets of Richmond. So this was the ultimate cap to this week. And then we see in the news, ZenCash CTO, steals APC and goes on a rampage in Virginia.
Wow, that's insane. So hang on, let's back up a bit. First on this week, we had, everyone in crypto is always scared of the big boogeyman, which is the 51% attack. Tell us what happened there.
Yeah, a 51% attack. So they suck. I mean, it's essentially an instance of fraud where someone steals from an exchange, or they steal from someone in particular, where they basically send someone a transaction and then they mine a whole bunch of blocks in sequence in private. And then they go ahead and do something with that transaction. In this case, and what's typical is they go and exchange the Zen or whatever for something else on exchange. They withdraw the money. Then they inject these kind of fraudulently mined blocks in parallel that have, because of the longest chain rule from just Satoshi consensus, they look like the valid chain. And then they inject it there and reverse their initial deposit into the exchange. So they're basically pulled up a heist against an exchange.
So did they have to put up that money up front to do that?
Yeah, so there is an investment. There's a cost to this. There's some websites floating around right now that I think downplay the actual cost because it's a stochastic thing. You can go ahead and make a big investment to try to hijack a chain for a little bit of time to kind of, commit a fraudulent transaction, but it's a cost and you're not guaranteed to win, to get away with it.
So you can't reverse someone, you can't really change what someone else does. You can't watch the blockchain, see $1 million, $1 million worth of whatever coin transaction, and then try to route that to you.
No,
you have to actually invest money, send something, and then when they've got it and they let you buy whatever, some other coin or gold or even beds from Overstock, and then reverse it, right?
Yeah, so this is a huge point is, number one, there's no new Zen created. There's no compromise of our money supply, which is actually a very incorrect statement that was going around and scaring people that our money supply was compromised. Not true at all. All you can do is take your own money and make it look like your own money was sent and then not sent to someone else. So you can't steal anyone else's money. You can't magically, decipher a 256-bit private key with a 51% attack. And this is a really important thing for people to realize. Your Zen is safe. Your whatever chain is attacked is safe. These, the victims, unfortunately, are the exchanges. And in this case, it was a relatively small heist. in the grand scheme of things for the exchange and for the project, but it was still a shock to the system. And a lot of people that didn't really understand what happened just panicked.
So what are you guys going to do now to try to secure the chain in a different way, or how are we going to how's ZenCash moving forward?
Yeah, so what I've been telling people is Satoshi consensus envisioned in 2009, 2010 is no longer the best consensus mechanism, in my opinion, because it relies on, number one, it was a much more decentralized world back then, a vision of every CPU being a miner. Yeah. Clearly not the case today. We have so much centralization in mining, and now we have projects like NiceHash, where you can go rent a ton of hash rate temporarily from someone, a collective, and point it at some project and try to exploit it. So what we have to do is, well, the other thing is it relied on game theory, where doing the right thing was the dominant strategy. Whereas now that's not the case. Now clearly you can go ahead and try to, temporarily subvert a chain and commit fraud, and that could be a dominant strategy. So we have to change this at the technical level, where it can't be possible anymore. So we actually have a paper we're going to release. We're targeting for Wednesday with our biweekly update. So basically, the very next update, we do these 2-week updates. The very next one, a week after our incident, we're going to release a technical fix that we think can kill it, because this is not rocket science. We know how these attacks are pulled off. It's essentially mining a sequence of blocks in private, and not broadcasting it to the network until you want to commit the fraud. So all we're going to do is a little bit of a technical tweak we'll reveal on Wednesday that just makes that process impossible. It should not be allowed to happen.
Yeah, and I mean, ZenCash is a fairly large chain, right? It's got a fair bit of hashing power compared to other coins. I mean, I'm pretty sure it looks like this might be the era where some of these smaller chains start getting attacked if they don't implement other forms of consensus.
So we're gonna open source all of this. We hope that it becomes adopted and widespread. And this is our first line of defense. So we're gonna do a defense in depth strategy, where we have actually a few different alternatives. We're gonna layer in just the first one right away, because this is probably the most effective. We're not gonna stop there. If we can make this 99.999% impossible, we still want to guard against. We want to push that decimal place out even further. So we're gonna unroll over the next sequence of hard forks. We're going to have an increasing, depth of strategy here to protect against this.
Wonderful. And so it is a hard fork that you guys are going to perform to do this?
So actually, technically, this fix that we have coming up is technically a soft fork, but we just conveniently have a hard fork coming up anyway towards the end of July. So we're thinking if we can race this to market to try to put it in there, but that actually may not be possible, because we want to make sure we test it significantly since it's a consensus change. So what we might do is execute our hard fork that's been planned and tested, and then come out with a soft fork, shortly thereafter with this. But the thing is with the soft fork is that it's optional to upgrade. So that's not the best case scenario. Of course, we want the exchanges, we want all of the important node operators, the pools, our big miners to upgrade, but we want to make sure that it's just impossible and consensus doesn't work, backward compatible. So ultimately, we want to enforce this with a hard fork. Yeah,
right. And do you think it's going to decentralize it a little bit more by having this? Do you think there's a decentralization component to adding another layer of consensus mechanism?
So for this, I'm not sure about a decentralization gain, but we do have some other things in the near future, kind of like our block DAG upgrade on our protocol, which would be a massive.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's a massive decentralization engine right there, because now, if we're doing a few dozen blocks in parallel every second, we can collapse the difficulty on that, so that I would love to once again be competitively CPU mineable. I'm not going to go that far, but at a minimum GPU mineable with very low difficulty target.
Yes, very cool, very cool. All right, Tatiana, you're safe.
I'm glad to hear that I'm safe. I want to talk about. I don't know if you want to talk about this, but so what's up with this other guy from ZenCash? I mean, I know that there was a lot of stuff, and I know he robbed a tank, or not a tank, an armored vehicle, because apparently a tank carries life. And I'm just wondering, because there seems to be a little bit of confusion around that relationship. So do you want to make sure that we're keeping that clear for people? Because I don't, I want to give you a chance to kind of clear the air, just so people are not confused.
Please, thank you, Tatiana. This is probably something that we should definitely lead off with. Is he has no relationship at all to ZenCash. So he helped us found ZenCash. He was our lead developer early on, and then left under very disadvantageous conditions. I can say, so he programmed into our code kind of, you know, we have this thing called replay protection, which is whenever you fork from a project, you want to add replay protection to make sure that you can't spend, you know, fraudulently funds because the network looks like the one that you fork from. And he built in there kind of like a timed stop for this replay protection. And then the day that it stopped, he went on a public rampage where saying that he found a 0-day flaw in our code, which was odd because he was our lead dev and programmed it in there. And then he started saying like, they refused to fix it. I'm quitting out of moral objection. And then, you know, some other not so nice stuff, you know, in the black hat domain that, you know, probably shouldn't talk about too much, but just, I can say very, very, very bad exit from the project. And we're really happy to get him to go. We became so much healthier of a project. And then to hear about this, and then to see a year later, our CTO is, you know, hijacked an APC, you know, and this is just, no, not the case at all. This guy has zero affiliation with our project.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. What a strange.
Crypto is a crazy space.
You know, this is one of the great things about crypto is that my popcorn machine gets a full-on workout. It's awesome.
So my favorite part, if you guys watch this video of him driving down the streets of Richmond, the favorite part was he broadcast on the radio, "Am I coming in? Like, can you guys hear me?" And someone said, "Broken and stupid."
Oh man, amazing! Absolutely. So to lead us out, what, you know, leading up to what?
Wait, I want to know something. Hold on.
Good, right.
Because I know where Rob is right now, and I'm a little bit jealous because I was there last year, and it's one of my favorite events of the year with one of my favorite organizations out there. Rob is down at FeeCon, and Rob has a PhD in economics or something like that, and you know, some sort of like, you know, PhD thing, and he's my econ bud. And now you're down immersed in the belly of all of economical good. What's going on over there? Are you
it's nauseating. I have to hear about free markets and freedom and stuff all day long. You know, I don't know how I'm going to put up with it for another couple of days.
No, so you're having a good time. What panels are you talking on?
I was just on one about, you know, I was there because one of my buddies from seasteading, Tom Bell, got caught up in Dallas. So I sat in on the panel for him. And we were talking about decentralized governance and, you know, offshore startup societies. So that was a really fun one. And I could talk about from the Zen perspective, what we're trying to do with kind of this liquid democracy voting system that we're building, I think is the perfect tool. And we're actually partnered with Blue Frontiers, which is seasteading commercial offshoot, to actually try to pilot a voting system on seasteads where we can kind of come to peaceful consensus with each other with technology. So the other panels would be blockchain panels. And then there's one really cool panel tomorrow called Underthrow, not overthrow, but underthrow, which I think is going to be a very interesting one.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
I don't either. So I'm very interested to find out.
Okay, good. Well, I hope you say hi to everybody over there. Is there anything else you want to tell us before we wrap it up? I mean, any other news from Zen? I know I'm going to be up at PorcFest, so if people are going to be up at PorcFest and they want to hang out, you're going to be at the Zcash thing. Where else is ZenCash going to be this summer?
So right now, I'm in the state of Georgia right now. I'm going to be in the country of Georgia in 2 weeks. So that'll be fun and interesting because one really big push for us is a lot of the use cases and people that love us are in Eastern Europe. So we want to get out there and actually kind of have a much more direct, bigger presence. So that's going to be fun. Oh, and actually, I can't skip. Like I live in South Carolina, and we have a big conference called Cryptolina in North Carolina in Raleigh coming up next week. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Man, I always say the killer app for blockchain is conferences. There's just so many of them.
Oh man, I know. Tell me about it. It's tiring, but I gotta say, for us, it's such a good thing to get out there and for people to see we're real people doing what we think is pretty good stuff. And I think one thing that we have is, you know, we came to the crypto party a little late, so everyone knows Bitcoin, everyone knows Ethereum, and all of these other projects, and they don't really know us. And this is a problem that we have is trying to break through the noise. But whenever people hear about what we're doing and they actually talk to us, they're like, wow, this is really cool. I want to get on board somehow. So for us, it's really important to just get out there and, you know, have our voice heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We had a nice party. I just shared it on my Twitter feed for, I think, Crypto Media Hub of the ZenCash party over consensus. That was really nice. It was fun to play. Cool. All right. Well, when's that? Where can they check it out? ZenCash.com?
Of course. Yeah, definitely. ZenCash.com. And every 2 weeks, we do a big community live stream where we try to keep ourselves accountable to everyone and tell you about all the cool stuff that we're doing. So chime in on YouTube.
All right. Awesome. Thanks a lot, Rob. We'll see you soon.
Good to see you. Nice
Thank
one.
You. See you, Josh.
All right.
Nice. Cool. Wow, underthrowing. I like that.
I don't know what that even means.
Well, I feel like Bitcoin's underthrowing the banking system. You know, it's like it's not overthrowing, because overthrowing is kind of this like violent thing, whereas more like an evolution. It's
my God, I was thinking they were talking about like a softball, like a underhand throw.
No.
I literally, I didn't understand the overthrow, underthrow reference. Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Cool.
So, wow.
So what are we going to do? I guess we're going to bring on Hannah next.
We got guests galore today.
We do have guests galore. Before we bring on Hannah, let's thank some of our sponsors really quick, because you know, that's what we should be doing. The Bitcoin CPA. Kirk is keeping me on the straight and narrow path for my taxation.
Yeah, keeping you out of the cage.
Even though taxation is theft, I still have to pay my taxes because I prefer to be robbed than thrown in a cage. So, you know, go figure.
You know, balance. Whoa, there goes the mic. Yeah, well, no, absolutely. The Bitcoin CPA and folks, like, you know, especially if you're using Coinbase, stuff like that, you need to, they're doing, you know, that they're deeply in bed with the state, and they have to be, because they want to be regulated and to keep in business. They're also forced. So you need to make sure you stay on that, stay out of trouble. Who else?
I feel like this is like our PSA for the day. It's like, pay your taxes. For all the crap that we talk about the state, we're like, listen, but one thing that you have to remember in order to survive.
Horrible.
Yeah.
But
so
yeah,
Crypto Compare.
Crypto Compare.
Bitcoin CPA, yeah. They know taxes. Everybody, let's try not to bum people out. It's Friday right now.
It's Friday. Yeah, no, the Crypto Compare, fantastic service. If you've got a massive portfolio, do you have a massive?
Hopefully. I have a massive portfolio, just like all the men in crypto. Massive.
Massive. Well, you know, it doesn't have to be massive in terms of value, but it can be a whole lot of different coins, right? You might think this token and that token and this thing and that ICO, and you know, you have a whole bunch of stuff all over the place. See, I caught myself.
This is like Howard Stern when he does the reads. This is not our specialty.
Well,
but Crypto Compare loves us anyway, because they're cool and we're cool, and that's how you know. It's not the stiffest show in the world. No,
look, Crypto Compare allows you to compare all these things and compare them also to gold. Voltoro.com, you know, we trade. We're like a trading platform between Bitcoin and physical bullion in Switzerland, and Crypto Compare allows you to compare those as well. They use our API, so that's really, really cool. And yeah, free Ross. Tell us about
.org. I don't think we should read all of them. I think that these reads have gone on long enough. If you have a product or service that fits with our show, you can reach out to us for sponsorship opportunities. Reach out to Dave at btcmedia.org. We were talking today. I might go out. There's a distributed event, which is the BTC Media brand, out in San Francisco, I think July 19th and 20th. So if y'all are in San Francisco, you might catch me there. We'll see. I did a cool little like interview thing for LTB there. So that was fun. Anyway, let's bring on Hannah, because Hannah is from Chicago, and she and I are friends because of this amazing event that if people have been listening to the show, they've heard me talking about. It was the Let's Talk Bitcoin 5-year anniversary bonanza / Andreas-a-thon / Tatiana Jam. Pamela Morgan was the MC. MK Lords had to crack some skulls as the conduct czar. It was really, really cool and really special.
It was an awesome event.
Yeah, very cool. Thanks so much for joining us. So tell people a little bit about yourself before we dive in and understand, you know, why I wanted to highlight this. Tell me a little bit about, you know, your background and how you ended up in crypto.
Yeah, I'm Hannah Rosenberg, and I am the organizer for the Bitcoin and Open Blockchain Meetup, or BOB Meetup, which was involved with the event you're discussing. I also have a company called Velas Commerce, but I got into Bitcoin in 2012. So I also have a degree in economics. Yeah, yeah.
I like this. This is a very smart show.
Yeah. And so I was really interested in monetary theory, you know, and I got very interested in the alternative currencies. And at that time, there's mostly like gold-backed things, you know, like Liberty Reserve. I actually got my first few Bitcoins because I did some work for someone. They paid me in Liberty Reserve, and then I transferred it into Bitcoin. That's how I got my first few Bitcoins. But yeah, I first heard about it in 2011 and totally dismissed it because it wasn't backed by gold. That's where my head was at the time. And then eventually it wouldn't go away, and sat down and read about it and fell in love in 2012. So we've been involved in one way or another since then. And,
wow. Yeah. Cool. So it's a really, really vibrant event, but you guys wanted to do something a little bit different. Tell me a little bit about how this event came about.
Well, Andreas has come out to the Bob meetups before. Last year in October, he came out and spoke in one. That was a really awesome event. And he wanted to come out again, but he wanted to do it. He did it a bit differently this time. He sort of called it a reverse sponsorship. So his team put on the event, and Bob did a lot of assisting with that. You know, I got all the volunteers together and all of that. But what he did is he put on the event, and then the proceeds, you know, the profits after he takes care of all his people, those got donated to the meetup. So that was really awesome.
That's
yeah.
Cool.
And so I know you guys are going to have all the accounting kind of up on the site because accountability is really important. And we don't know like the final total, but it was over $5,000, I think.
It was nice. Yeah, it was really helpful for a volunteer-run organization. You know, we survive off some sponsorship money and donations, so that was really awesome. It's like, oh my gosh, we have a budget. We can do things. Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you guys are going to do? What happens now?
Well, you know, some of the money we spent on, we're going to spend on bringing people in to talk. So actually this weekend or tomorrow, we have ZenCash coming in to talk to us. And we have a couple other of big things happening later in the summer, which aren't official yet, but we're working on bringing some people in. So that should be really fun. Now we have the budget to, you know, be like, oh, you know, well, you can stay here. We'll buy you a room or something, you know, so it gives us more flexibility.
Very cool. So how is the community? I mean, there was such a big turnout, and now people can watch it online. One of the things that I really loved was Andreas's message in the opening kind of talk about how we have to remind all the new people why it is that we're all in this in the first place, right? You know, like remind them of the history and of the ethos. So I thought that was really neat. Do you think that that's something that's really prevalent in your meetup there? And, you know,
well, it's something I think about all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's been really, really interesting to watch the scene change. So I've been back in Chicago since 2014, and there wasn't a lot of meetups going on then. But this meetup, the Bob meetup, has been going since January 2016. And I joke, you know, when I started, you know, helping to organize the meetups, you know, I was signing up to, you know, drink beer and eat pizza with 15 other people in a bar once a month, you know, and then all of a sudden you find yourself, you know, at the Music Box Theater with 700 people, and you're like, how did this happen? You know, so it's been really dramatic to see that change. But it's the new waves of people that come in. It's been very interesting. And so the meetup's focusing a lot on educational stuff. And so we're trying to do exactly that, get all the new people to come in, be like, oh, you heard about this thing that's going to make you rich. Now let us tell you what this is about, you know? So.
Very cool. I like that a lot. So is it all finance people? Like what's the vibe like of the people in Chicago that are interested? Because you guys have that exchange there and everybody was, you know, excited about that. So I don't know. Does that make Chicago cooler than New York? Because New York's been kind of wussy about Bitcoin.
I don't know. I haven't been to New York in a long time, so I can't give you an educated opinion there. But there's a lot of trading that goes on here. You know, the commodities. Chicago's a hub for commodities trading, so there are a lot of financial trading people. But it's about mid last year there became just this wave of people into the meetup. I think it was last year. It went from like 600 people to 1,500 people, or nearly 2,000 members in the meetup. Like it just. And you just got this wave of business professionals, accountants, insurance people, project managers, that kind of thing. Just a wave of those business professionals came into the meetup. So that was really interesting to watch.
Do they like the rebel spirit? Do they like it? I think that people from the normal world, I think that they're thirsty for a little bit of rebellion.
Yeah. You know, something that it's really, you know, kind of means something, and it's not just I'm going to get a raise or I'm going to have a fancier title. You know, I think people really do crave that kind of thing, and when they find it.
I talked to a banker the other day, and he was just so happy. He was like, "Man, I got into crypto, and I just tore off my tie, and I just." It was just fantastic to see. He was so happy. He was going, I'm so sick of that industry. They're sick and they're twisted and they're corrupt and it's awful. And now I don't need to wear a shirt and a noose around my neck.
Yeah.
And he's loving it. And he's also, you know, seeing the fact that this is not debt-based money. And this is something that I'm sure will resonate with you. But this is one of the reasons, you know, screw the Lambo. Lambo can screw me. Who wants one of those shit cars? I want asset-based money around the world, not debt-based nonsense. You know?
Yeah.
That's what we're here for, folks.
I can't tell how Josh feels about this.
Yeah,
I'm a bit annoyed by the whole Lambo thing because I've always thought Lamborghinis were incredibly beautiful cars, and now it's like I can never own one. Doesn't matter how well my crypto portfolio does, I can now never own a Lamborghini.
You could take back the Lambo. It's fine. It's not going to be forever. They'll come up with some other silly.
I seriously, you know, doubt I'll be buying one anytime soon. But yeah, it's just.
No. Listen, I don't like to hear that kind of talk. We're very bullish on this show. At least I am. I always am. I don't know if that really worked out that well this year,
pay off
but
the mortgage or something a little bit before I buy a Lambo. That would probably be it.
I think that seems reasonable. I like that. That's what adults are supposed to do. If people want to support the Bob Meetup, right? Do they have to be based in Chicago? I mean, that's a pretty big chunk of people to be getting a message out to if you're a sponsor. What's the criteria if people want to sponsor your event? Not your event, but like your meetup in general.
Yeah, well, just find us on the Meetup page or our website. It's bob-shy.org. Website coming there soon. And we so love our sponsors. They help us do what we do. But yeah, you know, we take any sponsors that we just try to be really upfront about our interactions with sponsors. So we don't do any shady deals. We don't take any money for people signing up for their services, that sort of thing. You just, you know, here's the fee. You come in, you get a nice booth. We thank you at the event, done and good. And so if we're just a service that we think is valuable and legitimate, then, you know, and it's related to crypto, we're happy to take you as a sponsor.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, thanks, Hannah, for coming on. And thanks to everybody who all put on that amazing event. Super cool. I hope it happens again. I hope I get invited.
It was so much fun. I mean, it's
so
just
fun.
700 of the coolest people. So how can you go wrong?
Pretty much. Yeah. I would say so. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, you know what?
Well, so Lisa was supposed to come on, Josh, but Lisa is coming to New York next week, and we want to do a hang live. Yes, I'm getting secret messages sent to me during this show. So we're wrapping. I guess that's it.
Well, really, that's it. Well, I just wanted to give a shout out to our live chat here, folks. You know, if you're watching live, we do this show live, by the way, and there is a chat in YouTube here, and it's me, Boss Lady said hi, fam, Crypto Crazies, lol. I just wanted to be a big shout out, and also, you know, hit that like button because that helps other people find the show. So that'd be great.
Aren't they supposed to hit subscribe too?
Yeah, they can do that. Actually, we want to thank all of our subscribers. We got a massive bunch of subscribers from the last show. So just thanks to all the new
How do you know?
Yeah, well, I see the numbers. I watch the numbers, you know.
Oh, you do? Okay, good. Well, no, because now we're broadcasting from my my podcast, Forevermore Tatiana, from my YouTube channel. And,
what is that YouTube channel?
Oh, Forevermore Tatiana. But really where I think people can go, the TatianaShow.com, our website. It looks so nice. Have you seen it?
I have. And, it's really good.
Yeah, and we're making even more fancy stuff to make it look even prettier. So people can go to the TatianaShow.com. Again, if you want to sponsor the show, email dave@btcmedia.org. I don't know, Crypto Media Hub, my company. I never promote my own stuff. That's terrible marketing. Even though we're a marketing company, I should be promoting myself more.
Hey, thanks, Ivan. He just hit the like button. Thanks very much.
See, nice. Ivan knows what's up. He knows what's good. All right, very cool. So we'll see you guys next week. We've got, actually, I think we're doing 2 shows on Monday, if I recall, and they're both going to be really neat. So stay tuned, everybody. Go to Have a nice day. That's it.
Ciao. Adios.
I feel like direct them to some website, but I'm like, no, go to a good day. All right. Enjoy. See y'all later.